Hello and welcome back, guys. You are gaming with me, Brothgar, and today I've got some more Adventure Communist for you. Now, this is in the closed beta here, and we've made it quite far as the game has gone here, and we are probably on our last sort of episode of progress as far as this game goes. So one of the things we're going to be doing is obviously trying to kind of finish it up here and unlock some more stuff, but I also want to give you some thoughts about what I think about the game thus far and a couple of things that I think that they can do to make this game better as they go on to develop it, because that's the whole point of a closed beta, is to kind of not only try the game out, but to also kind of get some ideas of where you might want to take it in the future. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have so far. We are at 97 of 100 unlocks. So the only things that are left for us to unlock here is some of the higher level stuff here. Eventually we will find them. Where are they? There we go. We need a couple more soldiers, and right down here we need a couple more of the nurses as well. So we've made pretty good progress. I'd say we've made a lot of progress, and we've really expanded our empire to as many potatoes as we could possibly ever want, and more land than we need. And then we've got a fair amount of ore and weapons and medicine as well. So we're going to be upgrading those as well, get that moving, and then roll on from there. So let's take a look at these unlocks, see what we need, because I don't remember. I know I just looked at them, but I know I need some more. Okay, so I basically just need more soldiers. I can do that, and more nurses. Okay, to simply do that, let's go ahead and just buy up more soldiers. Boom, there we go. And that means I have made that last upgrade right there, and we can see where we have reached 7.5 to the 10th power there. Okay, so this brings me to 2 points that I think that they can do a little bit better as far as the Adventure Communist thing. First off, this sort of scientific notation stuff is all right, but I think they ought to just kind of work on reducing these kind of crazy numbers a little bit, and maybe give us some of those more numbers that we saw here in Adventure Capitalist, where we kind of are using non-vigilability or whatever, those bigger words right there, but still leaving the scientific notation to give you some sort of idea what those numbers are. But I feel like those are a little bit more tangible and a lot more fun to deal with. That's one thing there. Plus the other thing is this upgrade here, 7 seconds faster, 6 seconds faster. I like these upgrades, but I would rather purchase them with my wealth. So we'll get into that a little bit later, but let's go ahead and move on here and try to get some more nurses, since we have absolutely no medicine at all. Alrighty, regarding your guys' comments, you guys were commenting quite a bit here. I think I have over 40 of them. We'll read as many as we can get into this video right here. Okay, the last game, I think you guys were guessing, how old am I? Master Dude 68, or I asked you guys to guess how old I am. Master Dude 68 Gaming here says, are you 20 years old? You told us to guess. No, not quite. I am not 20 years old, but it does start with a 2. And yes, I did play the event right here. As a matter of fact, as far as that one goes, Nerel, sorry, didn't get your name right. Nerelli? Yeah, sorry, I messed up your name. Anyhow, though, I did actually finish up the last event, insert coin to continue. I actually continued playing it after the event stopped, just never closing the game, and did finish all that up. So that's pretty cool. We'll spend that gold here in the next episode of Adventure Capitalist. Arnis says, I like Adventure Communist, but it's too confusing. Adventure Capitalist is so much easier, and I would agree with that, and I would think that there is I think that's both a good thing and a bad thing. One of the things I like about it is that it does take a little bit more thought. I mean, this should be, in my opinion, at the end of it, once it's fully developed, a thinking man's game, right? You're going in there, you're trying to strategize your sort of economy and all that stuff to kind of move through the game as far as that all goes. I like that thought of it, but I think there's a lot of stuff that they could do to communicate quite a bit better. And so just to kind of focus on that, this whole aspect here, one, it's again, I think with the numbers is one thing, but this should be a lot more tangible, this sort of progression from communities to collectives to plantations to hives, and the reward for that should be, how can I say it? I feel like it should be one of your more end goals to get to something like hives or plantations and to kind of build those up, not necessarily to get it to a point where you spend a colony and then reset all of that, which I don't think is necessarily how that should work, but I think these should be something that you should more or less collect and then strategically spend almost like currency to invest into different things, or to potentially invest in different ones on different pages as far as that. You know, maybe you can turn collectives into ore excavators or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but I think there's a little bit more than just trying to build up one and then sell one to get the other, because to me that's a little bit too linear and it doesn't give them as much purpose. I want those to have more purpose. I'm gonna go ahead and buy up these nurses. Boom! Well, we got some more out of it. What did I not get? No, not enough. How many do I need? 1.5 to the 11th, or just 5 in general. Okay, so I'm a little ways off there. Moving on here, Illuminati Gamer 101 says, Brothgar, I am done with the closed beta version of Adventure Communist. Yeah, it actually doesn't really seem to take that long once you kind of get through those starting blocks right there. And part of the reason I think it doesn't take that long is because I feel like these top kind of the communities here, building sites, blasting sites, sorry, mines, and all this stuff, I feel like those are larger than they actually should be, and I think that's in the purpose of just to get you through the beta, closed beta, faster. I don't necessarily think that they would actually make those be more profitable than anything else. I feel like they've done that just to kind of push you through the closed beta within a few days, just to give you a taste of the game, so that you can then review it and kind of give feedback. Personally, I think that's what they are trying to do there. I wouldn't think that they've scaled it that way on purpose, but I can't say one way or the other. Worldline, do you speak Spanish? Sí, but not much of it. Because you curl your R's, and that is used a lot in a lot of Spanish. I don't know how you do that. You know, it's just one of those things I heard early on, and I've just kind of picked up on it, and I've made it my own. I don't know, it's something I do. Brothgar. And then you just kind of learn it. You roll those R's. I don't really know what to say. Nobody taught it to me, I just kind of figured it out. Bloopers, bruh. Can you try 8-bit armies? What is 8-bit armies? Sounds familiar. What is this game? A little 8-bit retro real-time strategy game? Oh, okay, so it's kind of like Command and Conquer, but 8-bitty, right? Is that kind of what I'm getting at here? Conquer, see? Right there, boom, called it. What can I say? Thanks for the recommendation there. Real-time strategy games are not necessarily my thing, but every once in a while I've played a few. Thank you so much there. Mary BK 163. Read me. I did so. Ragger bagger. Okay, Narelle Mario, Brothgar, where did you get the Adventure Communist? Actually just went to their website and signed up for it. There was an announcement on one of their Twitters, or they tweeted it out, and somebody also told me about it, so I just went over to their website and searched it. So if you go to hyperhippo.ca games, this one right up here, that link, I was able to sign up for it here somewhere. Doesn't look like they have it going on anymore, but that's where that's what I was able to do. And then they sent me a link to the game to play. Got accepted the game, but I don't know if it's playable. I'm on a MacBook. I'm not sure it's actually out for Mac at the moment. That sounds like a reason why I wouldn't actually download for you, or wouldn't it work? Hello. Okay. Sapel Samuel, do you know that 1.23 to the 23 is 1, then 23 figures basically just move that decimal point a bunch of times? Yes. It's scientific notation, although it is written out more like you would see on a calculator than how you would, than at least how I was taught in school. Because I was taught in school, it's a little thing with then the little number next to it. So the little whoop, and then the little number. To me, that's scientific notation. Or X to whatever number. But yes, it's essentially the exact same thing. And while scientific notation is useful, sort of, in math, I've never used it in real life, ever. And this is like the first time I've seen it in a long, long time. Stormfighter wants me to play Loadout again. And thank you for commenting. Alright, here's another one that's kind of working towards the theme of the video. This game is just confusing. You're not digging it. And I can agree with that. That kind of goes back into the theme of it is a little bit confusing. Obviously, we got to work on this sort of stuff here to make it a little bit more, how can I say it, more understandable in its progression. I think the other aspect of this that goes into how this game works is I think there should be an overall economy that you're building up. You see how you have your wealth over here? This wealth is useful, but you can't just spend this wealth on anything. I personally think, just like we have in Adventure Capitalist, you should be able to build up your wealth and then go into boosts or whatever you have and kind of buy upgrades that either reflect medicine or ambulances or hospitals or managers or whatever else sort of things, different boosts that you could buy with your wealth in order to increase that. Not only that, there should be some sort of, I like the idea of like how the angels sort of reset and grow things, but I would also like the idea that I think that's what they have going on here with the colonies. But I think it should be a little bit more tangible than how they have it currently set up. So I like the idea that, you know, if these were basically planets, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different planets, then you should be able to reset these planets and gain things that will then in turn give you wealth as you move on throughout the game. The overall economy, basically with your wealth here, are boosts that could be worldwide. I also like the idea of a concept that isn't actually played out anywhere in this game, of actually being able to do international trade. So for example, if you could sell potatoes or potatoes per second or whatever you have here, and then in turn gain ore back from said international trades, I think that would be kind of an interesting game mechanic. So that would be something that could be played out, and that could also be updated per day or something like that on what those trades and trade values are, which would allow you to strategically play the game a little bit better. Again, if they don't implement something like that correctly, it would just make it even more complex, I should say. And I think part of one of the things that they could do to make this a lot less complex is right down here as far as the currency goes, taking these and simplifying what it takes to actually buy one thing to another, you know. And the other thing I said in one of my previous videos is being able to buy not necessarily just 50% or 100%, but actually be able to use some sort of slider or 10% increments to kind of adjust this right down here, you know, this thing. And I also realize I've been covering up this thing over here this entire video. Well, that's all right. Back to the comments here. Eric Jackson, E equals X is how many 0? What? Sir, you are asking a very confusing question. Oh, buddy, here we go. We got graphs, we got stuff moving around. Look at this. N equals 3, 4, graphing and projections. Variable X occurs as an exponent function of the form. Oh my goodness, oh, here we go. Fun stuff. Skip. Yeah, like I was saying, the progression here, that's one of the things I was referring to as far as the wealth having some sort of overall progression. I understand that wealth is a thing, but I don't necessarily think this total number here should be your indicator of your full-on progression. You know, to be able to achieve things with planets, unlock things, you know what I mean? Not like this. I think this should be changed or dumped in general. This is just too cluttered and pointless. It's got to be tweaked a little bit. Potatoes, potatoes, and more potatoes. Living the life of a communist. Chris Harris, Hand of Gaming. Get a mega drill so we can see what it does. If I unlock the mega drill, we will fly into space and, you know, pierce the heavens. And if you could name what anime that is, I'll give you a like. Okay, these nurse thingies are there we go. Nurse UL9 unlocked. All right, so unlock 9. I got is right down here. There we go. We've now done it. 100 of 100 unlocks right there. That wasn't even that terribly hard. Let's go ahead and buy all my ambulances and we'll just crank those up a little bit. Anyhow though, we've now unlocked absolutely everything, so we have technically unlocked everything, even though we haven't done this stuff. So why not? Let's go ahead and buy a mega drill. Pierce the heavens. Buy a mega drill. Costs a lot of ore. 1 to the 11th power. All miners, all excavators. Sure, why not? There we go. So really, this is just going to complete every 4 hours, and it's going to give me this much ore. And that's essentially what it does right there, conceptually. I can't buy any more, though. For the sake of it, let's see how many hives we can get. I mean, why not? At this point, we've pretty much done everything we can do. So we'll buy a bunch of communes, and then those are going to need more farmers, so we'll buy more farmers. But now we need more land, and land will complete soon enough. Ah, hey, what's up, Sarah? Yeah, you were the one that actually, I was looking at your channel during a live stream. I remember that one. Lemonheads person right there. DJ Gaming 123 29th comment. Man, this guy read it all up. Alright, I'll read one more comment here and then we'll call it a day. Let's see, something that applies to it. Alright, here we go. Marino says, have you noticed the music in this game is a different version of Adventure Capitalist music? Now I have noticed it's got a similar loop, but I haven't compared the two songs side by side. So let's go ahead and fire up the other game and do that. Let's compare them side by side. But meanwhile though, I'm gonna buy all the collectives I can get. Boom, right there. And then buy all the plantations. And then get all the hives. You know what? After listening to the two songs side by side, I can hear it. The Adventure Communist song is basically the Adventure Capitalist song, just played a little bit slower, but with horns and stuff like that, instead of, you know, whatever Adventure Capitalist is played with. Interesting. It's like the exact same song. Too bad it doesn't sound as good as the Adventure Capitalist one, though. Da-da-da. Yep, I hear it. I absolutely hear it. Manro, thanks for pointing that one out there. Anyhow, guys, I think we've reached here the end of the Adventure Communist sort of closed beta, the best we can do right there. Thus far, we've unlocked everything we can. We could do a hard reset and maybe do a couple of strategies, or I don't know what else we can actually do as far as kind of this game goes, or just kind of follow its development as it moves on, though. Anyhow, though, I think we've done here pretty good here as far as the Adventure Communist go. We've got a taste of the game as it is thus far, and as we continue on to play other games and stuff like that, we'll kind of revisit this one as it develops. Or whatever else I'm trying to say there. Anyhow, though, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little short series of Adventure Communist, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day, guys. Peace. Brothgar out.